what's new? One of our constant dilemmas at the clinic involves the economics of running the clinic, because two of our goals are directly opposed to one another. Now, we do believe that everybody should pay something for their care, because if you start giving everything away for free, it creates a kind of paternalism that in turn creates dependence, and we think you end up going backwards instead of moving forwards. Now, that being said, we give away a lot of financial assistance at the clinic, and we have a lot of patients who pay very little to almost nothing, and occasionally nothing. But in general, we do think it's important that people take responsibility for their care and make an effort to pay something. Put that aside for a minute, and well, so while we're trying to keep our prices as low as possible, the other thing that we'd like to do, the other goal I mentioned, is that we'd like to be able to, what's the word I want, to pay our employees a decent wage, and not only a decent wage, but we'd like to be able to pay them a generous wage. But those two things are polar opposites, because as you really try and keep your prices as rock bottom as you can, that means you don't have the funds to bless your employees with a decent salary. And when you say, okay, great, well, they do such great work, they're such great people, we're going to give them a raise, that means you have to raise your prices. And so those two things are always a difficult thing to manage. And so that's one side of the story. And there are a lot of things that you can do to support us at the clinic. We have a lot of really faithful prayer warriors that pray for us consistently, and some of them every day. And we literally couldn't survive without those people. We also have people that support us financially, faithfully, and we have people who've supported us for 10 years. And the other thing you can do is come to the clinic. And we've had people come individually, sometimes one or two at a time, smaller groups, maybe 4, 5, 6 people, groups of 10 or 12. And our biggest group up until recently was the group of 20 that laid the pavers for us a year and a half ago. But we recently hosted, and it was 37, including Marcos. Mark's group was 36, plus a guy we took down from Quito. And so we recently hosted this group of 37 people. And so what we did, we thought that we were doing, kind of finding a unique way to bless our employees as we combined those two things, trying to find a way to help our employees out and incorporate that with our group. We asked the group to, instead of working at the clinic the entire time they were there, if they would do a home improvement project in each of our employees' homes, as well as the church with whom we're affiliated. And so that was 4 projects that we wanted to try and do, one for each of our 3 employees that live in San Lorenzo and one in the church. And so I just want to show you a few pictures of that group. 37 people is a lot of people for us to have. This is the group the morning after they arrived in Quito. This is right before we got on the bus to go to San Lorenzo. This is some of the luggage they brought. And these guys are hardcore. I mean, we told them what we wanted to do. They brought equipment, they brought tools, because we told them what we wanted to do ahead of time. They were planning for the projects ahead of time. I mean, they brought stuff and they left stuff as well. They brought some things and left it with us. But this is some of the luggage they brought. This is how we transported the group to our work sites on these little moto taxis. It's just in the back, you can fill the back of that with people or equipment or whatever, and it's powered by a motorcycle. And so these are some of the young people that were on the group. This is another one of the young people, and 3 also very young people that were the brain the brain power for our projects. This is one of the rooms where 6 of the women stayed, and they turned out to be experts at managing their mosquito nets. That's, if you come, that might be what your sleeping space looks like. And this is what our well, kind of our break room looked like when because there were 37 of them plus the 8 of us who work at the clinic. So we fed 45 people in this room. This is what mealtime looked like. So the projects we did, this is Gonzalo's house. And Gonzalo, when they went to live here, didn't have money for how he would like his final house to look. So he basically built, most of this is wood. He has a little bit of cement block there, but built the house out of wood with the plans to build his final home out of cement blocks around the outside. So you build the real house around the outside and then tear down the wooden walls once you've got it done. And so this is his house. And Gonzalo, had the wood, San Lorenzo is very wet and it's very humid. And so if wood isn't good wood treated properly treated, it rots. And so the planks of his house, as some of them have, between the slats, the space is bigger than you'd like to see it, and some of the wood is rotting. So he would occasionally take cardboard boxes home from the clinic to put on the inside of his house, either between the slats or to cover up the rotting parts to try and keep the rain out. So you can see that he had started to try and build the corner columns and basically does a little bit at a time when he has enough money to do part of this. So this is when the group started, the cement mixer, and the goal at Gonzalo's house was to help him get the foundation or the footers done that he can then build the cement block walls on. And Gonzalo's house is low. It sits low. This was rainy season, so it was very wet and very difficult. You can see here starting to dig the trench, if you will, for the foundation. And here they are tying rebar for the columns of the footers. And I mean, these guys, it's hard to do good work in San Lorenzo. I mean, these things are perfect. They're perfectly straight, they're perfectly even. I mean, they did really great work. And this is one of the footers drying. And remember, the group was only there for a week, so taking time out to travel, they really only had 5 days of work, so they did all this at Gonzalo's house in less than 2 days. And this is what it looks like now. So really did nice work in a very difficult situation.